Hi, I'm Daryl Forte, owner of Everlast Software. Today I wanted to give you a tip that not only improves security but can also improve the performance of your Windows system by quite a bit. Now I only recommend doing this if you have 16 gigabytes of RAM or more. You may be able to get away with it with 8 or 12 gig, but it really depends on how you use the computer. And basically what we're going to be doing today is turning off the page files for the virtual memory system. So depending on what version of Windows you have, you can right click on the Start button and you may see Control Panel. If you don't see it in the list, you can always do a run and type in the word Control Space Panel, and then you may be in a category view like this, and if your control panel is in that view, you can switch the view to large icons, scroll down to the bottom and click on System. Then on the left side, at least on Windows 8 and Windows 7 and beyond, you will see Advanced System Settings. If you're using an older version of Windows, it may be located in a different spot, but you will find it. So basically, once you get into Advanced Settings, we're going to be clicking on the Advanced tab, and then we're going to be going into Performance. Finally, there's an Advanced tab there. And here in the Virtual Memory section, we're going to hit Change. Now I've already disabled it, but by default Windows is going to automatically be managing your paging file. So if you uncheck that box, you can then click on each drive where it has a page file set and come down here and click No Paging File and hit Set. And you do that on each one that has a page file set and wipe them all out. Now the reason for this is because Windows uses the page file when it starts to run a little bit low on physical RAM. In fact, it uses it even when it's not low on RAM, and it will be paging things out to this file on your hard disk or your solid state drive. This is terrible for security because anything that's in memory of your computer may get written there, and you don't know what it is, when it happens, and you can't control it. So by disabling this, it prevents Windows from doing that. A huge security benefit. Now there is a way in Windows 10, for example, to tell Windows to encrypt the page file, but that slows down your system a little bit. Also, there is a pretty big performance gain by doing this. And you may see online that other people say that that's not the case and you should leave it alone. But I have done extensive testing on this, and Windows is notorious for writing things and hitting your hard drive when it does not need to be doing it. And so as your programs go to read something from the drive, let's say you're opening a program or you're playing a game and it's going to hit the hard drive, well, if Windows is writing and reading things from virtual memory, trying to be preemptive, it interferes with the performance and it does slow down your computer. So turning off the page file will increase your performance by quite a bit, especially if you have a regular hard drive, a mechanical one, and not a solid state drive. And it'll also give tremendous bonus for the security issue with this. Now, if your power goes off, for example, in the middle of doing something, even if you've instructed Windows to clear the page file on shutdown, it won't execute. Or if someone just unplugs it, whatever is in memory and in that page file at the time, it's on the hard disk. Someone could boot the system externally, get that page file, and go through all your memory. It could even find decrypted keys in memory. Like if you have BitLocker encryption being used, the key may be in memory. And so your whole hard drive could potentially be decrypted by a hacker. So I really recommend doing this tip. Now again, I said if you have 16 gig of RAM or more, that's just kind of an art, and the reason is because it depends on how you use your computer. If you frequently close the programs when you're done and you're just using it for web browsing and simple things, you could get away with it with 8 gig and have no problem. Now what will happen if you disable the page file and you start to run low on real physical RAM, you're going to start seeing warnings by Windows, and it'll pop it up in the system tray in the lower right corner usually, and it'll say running low on physical memory or virtual memory. It's going to start killing processes, and it'll shut them down, and the system can become unreliable. In fact, the system could even potentially crash. Now, you reboot and everything should probably be fine, but I'm just telling you that's why I recommend having about 16 gig of RAM. Now, if you're doing heavy video editing and things like that, and you disable this, 16 gig of RAM may not even be enough. So you just have to watch your RAM, look for the warning signs. If you start to see warnings, you may want to re-enable your virtual memory. If you don't see any warnings, then you're in good shape. So I hope you enjoyed this tip, and I will see you next time.